Behind me is the Axopar 45 cross cabin. So what? I hear you say that's been out for ages, and it has. So you'll know that it's got triple 300 horsepower Mercury outboards. It'll do 45 knots, 4 litres per nautical mile at 25 knots. Costs about 515,000 euros as base, 680,000 euros in this spec. But what we don't know is what it's like with an aft cabin, because this is the first boat at a show to have the aft cabin fitted. Now out back you can have open space, you can have storage, U-shaped sofa. This one has got the aft cabin, so you can sleep 4 people on this thing. And they've given us a grand total of 20 minutes to close the boat off and show you what it's all about here on their incredibly busy stand at the Düsseldorf Boat Show. So let's get on with it. I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. Before we get to that cabin though, let's have a quick reminder of what the rest is going on the X45 cross cabin. So, one key thing that you have is the wet bar under here. Often complained about the fact that you can't have your living space and your storage spaces and a wet bar on these boats. They've solved that issue by putting one under here, and actually it's in a really good position here at the back of the boat. Very easy to service area over here. And you've still got storage in that locker over there, so you don't lose too much storage deck space in the process. If we keep on going round, of course, you have that typical Axopar walk around deck layout. The key feature on the 45 is you have these balconies on either side, and they're not aft like they are on many of this boat's rivals. They are amidships, so they line up here with the wheelhouse, and because you have the doors that slide both all the way forward and all the way back, it makes it a very versatile area. And they sort of extend the living space. They're not at water level, you know, they're not sort of water sports platforms, they are an extension of the seating on deck, so it's a slightly different take on the balcony, and they're very simple. They're just manual catches here, drop them down, and away you go, and you've got them on both sides. We keep going forward. Obviously you have the side door as I mentioned, but they line up aft and forward, so you have great access in and out of the wheelhouse, both aft and forward. But this is really important, the fact that you can get straight out from the helm seat onto the side deck and become part of the crewing party. It's a bit of a shame that there is no boarding gate here, so you can't quickly go from here straight onto the pontoon, but there is at least a step, so you can step up and get yourself over the side of the boat quite easily. Moving forward, this is all very familiar with the other versions of the 45. You have this nice foredeck lounge area, and of course you have the gull wing doors that we first saw on the 37. They work just as well on this boat. Not only do they obviously give you really good access down into that area, but they do help with ventilation down there as well and bring in loads and loads of natural light. Though notice there are windows built in as well, so when you haven't got the cushions on top, you've still got some natural light coming down into that cabin, which we'll have a look at in a moment. Moving around, the boat's got symmetrical deck spaces, so it's exactly the same on both sides. You've got this nice lounging area here, which works pretty well. You've got a bit of storage up here, and of course you've got access to your anchor locker right forward as well. But of course the main event on this version is inside the cabin, so let's head in there. Now in here, it's not actually that different to look at than other versions of this boat that haven't got the aft cabin. So you have your triple helm station with a nice upright dash, nice and clean and easy to use with full digital instrumentation. You've got the joystick option as well, of course. And then you have this sliding wet bar and table system, which they've improved quite a lot from the original prototype that I saw of this boat. It's all much more slick. The runners work much better. It all is really properly finished and is quite effective. So you can move the table up and down on its travel. You can do the same with the wet bar. As you can see, the wet bar is pushed right up against the seats here at the moment. But if you want to use this as a leaning post, you push this button here, the whole thing slides forward, locks in place, and then you have a leaning post behind these 3 seats. And it's the same with the table. If you want to move that further towards the aft seating, you can, or if you want it further towards the wet bar, you can do that as well. It really is quite flexible. And then of course we have the forward cabin, which is standard on all 45s, but we'll just have a quick look to remind ourselves what's down there. Down here I have standing headroom, 6 foot, quite a bit here, but it does sort of taper down a bit as I move further towards the beds. I mentioned the gull wing doors. This is where you really get the best of them. They ping up here, you've got steps here so you can get up and out onto deck, and you have them on both sides. That works really nicely. And another clever little feature is the way that this converts from sofa, as it is now, to extending the bed. And just like that, you've got your sleeping space. Either side, you've just got a couple of sofas. I mean, really, this is just somewhere in the day you're going to shelter if it's bad weather, I imagine. You're not really going to spend a huge amount of time down here unless you're sleeping. But you've got some storage dotted around down here. There's a nice big storage space here. And really, most important is you've got a decent head unit. It is a wet room, but it's nicely finished. There's enough space to move around in there. And yeah, I mean, that's probably the most important part. Not going to be spending weeks on this boat, but for the odd weekend, this cabin is perfect. But it's what's back there that makes all the difference. So let's go and have a look at that. Here it is then, the biggest aft cabin fitted to any Axopar ever. And typical Axopar, it is very cleverly packaged. Now, of course, there isn't standing headroom in here at all. As soon as you get down here, you're going to sit down. But at least there's a nice big bed slash sofa for you to do so on. And me, at 6 foot, probably going to lie across it to be most comfortable, but that's all right. For the odd night, not too bad at all. I've got some nice skylights above my head here. And you've got this lovely window where you can gaze out at those 3 Mercury engines that cost you so much money. So, yeah, probably a bit more effective in an anchorage, not inside a boat show hall. But you get the idea. It's a nice addition, and it does mean you're drawing in plenty of natural light, as well as what's coming in through here when you haven't got the cushions on the sun pad. What else? Well, I've got some back pads here, so you can lean and read a book nice and comfortably. You've got bendy reading lights, cup holders, bit of storage down here, and rather amazingly, this boat hasn't got it. This is a wardrobe, but you can have a toilet in there. It is absolutely tiny. It's sitting room only, but I suppose theoretically you should be sitting in there anyway, doing what you're doing. But it's an option. I'm not sure many people go for it, but it does mean that you don't have to go forward to the forward cabin to use the toilet in the night. So, I don't know, maybe it's an attractive option. But yeah, for the odd night on board, I think it's all right down here. That's it then, a proper whistle-stop tour of the Axopar 45 cross cabin. I hope you like the boat, but let me know which version you'd have. Which hardtop would you have? Would you have it open, sun-top, cabin? What do you have out back? Do you want the cabin at the back? Is that something you'd like on your boat? Let me know in the comments about your perfect spec of Axopar 45 cross cabin. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please give it a like if you did. If you want to watch more boat test videos, click up here. And if you do want to subscribe, click up there. Thanks for watching.